New information on a case we have closely followed here on Happening Now, with jury selection in the trial of a man charged with Holly Bobo's murder beginning this week. Here's a timeline to remind you of this heinous crime. On April 13, 2011, 20-year-old nursing student Holly Bobo was kidnapped from her home in Darden, Tennessee. On March 5, 2014, authorities announced a man named Zachary Adams was indicted on charges of aggravated kidnapping and felony first-degree murder. On April 29, 2014, a second man, Jason Autry, was indicted in connection with Bobo's murder. Then on September 7th, that same year, her partial remains were found in a wooded area about 9 miles from her home in Decatur County. 10 days later, on September 17th, John Dylan Adams, Zachary Adams' brother, is charged with tampering with evidence, but those charges are later dropped. Then, on October 14th, 2014, John Dylan Adams was indicted on 2 counts of rape. The 3 men will be tried separately, with Zach Adams' trial beginning this week with jury selection. Opening arguments are scheduled for July 10th. Joining us now, Nolan Klein, and Richard Roth, both defense attorneys. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for talking to us. What a complicated case. I mean, Nolan, some 200 potential jurors are being summoned to the courthouse. How lengthy of a process will it be selecting this jury?
It's going to be difficult to select a jury. I have to tell you that even under normal circumstances, when you don't have this kind of media attention, to find people who can serve on a jury for 2 weeks is very difficult because, as you can imagine, you have to drop a lot that's going on in your life for 2 weeks. It's a very small group of people that can actually do something like that. And then you compound onto that the fact that the media coverage has been so extensive. A lot of people, particularly in that area of the country, have very strong opinions. Then you have to narrow it down further to people that are comfortable in a death penalty case. It's going to be extremely difficult to answer your question to find a jury, but it's something that they're going to have to do.
Richard, what's interesting about this case is the timeline. Zachary Adams was indicted on charges of aggravated kidnapping, felony first-degree murder in March. Even though Holly Bobo's remains weren't discovered until 6 months later in September, does that not speak volumes about the mountain of evidence jurors are going to be presented with at this trial?
You know, we don't know the mountain of evidence. The problem with this case is that the prosecutors, unlike most cases, have missed deadlines, they've dropped charges, they've changed charges. There's even in-house fighting between the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and the District Attorney's Office. They've actually dropped the investigation at one point. So this has been a colossal disaster, prosecutorial disaster. That being said, now we're hearing that Zach has been essentially indicted on based on a confession by his brother, who doesn't even know how to tell time. So we don't know what's going on. We've been really left in the dark. The media's been trying to learn information about this prosecution, but it's been really quiet. We don't know exactly what's going to come out during this trial.
All right, that is all the time we have. We apologize, though. We have been kind of inundated with breaking news here. But, gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate you weighing in.